Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Nemesis Gaming League, where the grind continues. We are back for week number 4, Saturday night Rocket League, and let me tell you, we got quite a few, well, 2 exactly, bangers in front of us. We're starting things off in the Novice League. We've got the undefeated Whelps, 7-0, going up against Diffusion with a 3-4 record. Whelps looking for their 8th win in a row. Diffusion coming off of a win against the Wisps on Wednesday, looking to carry this momentum and hand Whelps their very first loss. Your boy Psychonautic in the booth, ready to bring you some of this sweet play-by-play action tonight. And I am joined by the legendary Squirrel himself, my friend. Happy to have you in the booth. It's been too long.
Yeah, Psycho. It feels like forever, especially since I'm fresh off vacation, back into the Nemesis work, and I'm going to be taking over color today. So, the point of color is to fill you in. So let me fill you in on these teams real quick, as the Whelps going to be rocking with Jeff Masters, Gerbsies, and Mr. Marino, taking on the Diffusion roster with Seiko, Removing Pillow, and Martin Storm 15. A lot of familiar faces and some new people on these rosters.
Yeah, and it's looking pretty hot. The Whelps looking pretty hot. Jeff Masters and Mr. Marino just seemingly unstoppable in the Novice League. But, Diffusion, I don't know. I don't know if they got what it takes, to be honest with you. I'm interested to see if they got what it takes. They're definitely not the worst team in Novice. So I think that I think the Whelps better watch out, put at least a little respect on Diffusion's name.
Yeah, anytime you're going against a team that's right at 500, always expect a lot of fight out of those teams, not wanting to fall even further behind where they already are. And this is a division matchup, Psycho. This was a flex from Monday, so Whelps versus Diffusion. I think this is the last division match that's going to be played in the Novice League until our next round of division matches later in the season. But for the first time that you face a team, the Whelps, even though they're looking solid, they have to come out guns a-blazing, and Diffusion is going to have to do whatever they can to withstand what's about to happen.
And speaking of that, Squirrel, let me hear it from you. Let's hear that caster prediction. Who do you think is taking home this dub tonight? Diffusion, or you think Whelps is going to shut it down and remain undefeated?
I, I don't like doing this on stream, but I just have to give it 3-0 to the Whelps.
Oh, calling for the sweep. You think Diffusion doesn't stand a chance? And hopefully we've got everybody in the lobby. We've been given the signal to join up. Nobody's joining up. Hey, but Whelps with the sweep. I don't know, man. Like you said, coming out, a team coming as close to being 500 as Diffusion is, they got a lot of fight in them. They've got a lot to prove. And I know that the players on Diffusion, Removing Pillow specifically, is definitely ready to step up to the challenge, and I think can step up to the challenge.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. Like Removing Pillow is one that is uh very well known here in the Novice League, and Seiko is a name that I've heard a lot about. And if he has a good pop off game, if Removing Pillow can just fill in that support role, maybe that second man role, Martin Storm, if he can just hold his own against this Whelps roster, then it could stretch this series out to Game 4 or Game 5. But right now, the Whelps, especially in the Novice League, you don't see undefeated teams all that often, just with how inconsistent they are. But right now, they're the most consistent team in the league, undefeated, and I fully expect for them to stay that way after tonight.
Well, after a bit of a novice moment there, we finally got all the players to join up onto the field, and we're going to get straight into the action. Game 1 in this best of 5 series. The final, Seiko coming in Or is that Psycho coming in strong, starting things off for Diffusion and taking control of the match early?
Yeah, just a very solid angle, just catching the Whelps off guard and doing exactly what they need to do. Coming out here, punching them in the face early to take just a quick lead.
And we'll see if they're able to carry that quick lead into possibly getting an insurance goal, or if the Whelps are going to clap back quicker, then they'll be able to secure that second goal. As Marino in the midfield misses the ball in the corner, removing Pillow going to clear that one out, bangs it all the way back into Whelps' corner. Jeff going to stick with it on the sidewall, flips off. He can't follow it. He sends it all the way down into Seiko's hands. Seiko can't really do much with it. Gribsy missing his shot. Jeff Masters is there. He's going to get the touch. He sends it to the back of the net, and we now got a tie ball game with 4:04 left on the clock.
Yeah, a good 50 by that Batmobile off the corner. Jeff Masters fast enough to read that one and beat the defender there. Getting a nice angle of his own just to even this one up.
Jeff Masters with the advantage on the kickoff. Marino missing his touch there. Grebsy's up. Doesn't get the touch he's looking for. Jeff Masters going to 50 with Pillow. And Martin Storm comes in, gets it in front of the net. Whelps, that was dangerous, but they were able to get it cleared away. Martin trying to send it back. Marino going to take a little bit of time with it, get it on his car and get the flick, but he flicks it straight into the defender. Grebsy's shot going to go high. The ball floats in the midfield, removing Pillow. He's got a look on net, and it goes over the defender. Diffusion once again taking the lead 2-1.
Yeah, removing Pillow. I love that he decided to take a touch instead of just putting it on net initially. Him slowing it down really caught that defender off guard. And, in Novice League, you don't see those dribble play flicks happen too often. So I don't think the Whelps were quite ready for that one.
Well, they're going to have to be a little bit more ready, just like Jeff Masters was ready for that pass from Mr. Marino.
Yeah, keeping the ball in the air, I think this is going to be one of the keys to victory for the Whelps. It seems like in the air, they are faster than pretty much the rest of Novice League right now. And we've already seen that Diffusion has a really solid ground game, so Whelps going to have to keep this ball in the air.
And we'll see if they're able to, as removing Pillow's got another shot, but it's going to hit the post. Not going to work out for him. Pillow with the 50. Marino with the boop touch, but Psycho getting in front of it makes the save. Psycho going to follow it into Whelps territory. Jeff Masters 50 in the defensive zone. Removing Pillow gets the pinch to put it out, but the ball gets cleared away by Whelps. Mr. Moreno's there off the backboard. Grebsy there to follow up. He gets the touch, and Whelps take the lead for the first time.
Yeah, a really good bounce there allows Mr. Marino to get a good pass off the backboard. Grebsy there to follow it up. And there it is again, Psycho. Just the Whelps having success when the ball is in the air.
And that has been a thing for them so far, and we'll see if maybe that carries them to a W here tonight. And we'll see if Diffusion is able to adapt to that. 2 minutes and 30 seconds left on the clock. Plenty of time for Diffusion to come back, tie things up, and possibly even take the lead once again. But as it stands, the Whelps are controlling the pace of this match. Jeff Masters to send that down to the corner. And Martin Storm to send it out. Grebsy keeping control in the midfield, but removing Pillow is going to remove the control from Grebsy. Jeff Masters keeping the pressure alive. Jeff Masters going for it, but can't beat out the defender. And Pillow's got control in the midfield. Pillow taking it through. Grebsy gets it over Moreno into the front of the net, but the ball gets immediately cleared out by the last defender. Martin Storm gets it past one, gets it past two. Jeff Masters trying to get it out. It gets clipped and sent up. Removing Pillow to touch it back to his own corner. With a minute 38 seconds left on the clock here, Squirrel. Diffusion still unable to tie things up, and this is dangerous for them. Marino with the touch. Jeff Masters trying to keep it, but it's going to get bounced away. Grebsy with the shot. but they seem to be a bit on their heels here, Squirrel. They seem seems like Whelps is heating up offensively.
Yeah, the Whelps are looking super comfortable right now. And you mentioned Diffusion needing to tie it up. They had that chance earlier this game where they just hit an open net off the crossbar or off the side post, and that's really coming back to bite them in the butt right now as they are just down by one with with a minute left to play.
And they need to get something going. They haven't been able to generate much offense in the latter portion of this game number one, but they have to. It is down to a do or die moment. They have to at least tie this game up to send it into overtime, or they are going to face Whelps taking control of the series with the first win. Jeff Masters with the pop out to the mid. Psycho up, makes the touch. Rebsy trying to get it back in front of Diffusion's net, but Martin Storm not going to let that happen. Martin Storm sticking with it. 50s through Jeff Masters. The ball gets cleared across the mid line. Removing Pillow pops it up. The final 15 seconds. Is Diffusion going to be able to make something happen here, or are they going to go behind in the series? Psycho gets in front of it, makes the touch. He might have something going up to Removing Pillow. Jeff Masters with the touch. If they can just keep it up and alive, it's in the Whelps defensive zone, but the Whelps going to put it down and receive the first W in this best of 5 series.
Yeah, and it was just absolute great play from the Whelps that allowed them to get that one. Excellent air domination in that first game. And Diffusion, not ones to just count out of this one. I know I said they were going to lose 3-0. I still stand by that, but they came out, they sucker punched Whelps at the start, and they look solid so far. And I think they have a lot of potential to stretch the series out.
Yeah, I certainly think so, but Diffusion's definitely going to have to get out of their own defensive zone. Whelps, once they got that pressure going, they just started to suffocate Diffusion. And I mean, Whelps had 6 shots to Diffusion's 3 shots. Gave Diffusion shows that Diffusion's a little bit more deadly when it comes to their accuracy than the Whelps are, but it's not going to do them much good if they can't keep the ball in Whelps defensive zone and keep a sustained pressure.
Yeah, I mean, I agree 100%. And I remember, when I played for the Pineapples, we were a very high pressure offense and we would put a lot of shots on net. But Whelps doing a good job of putting that pressure on and doing a good job of keeping the ball out of their net for the most part, limiting Diffusion and their solid accuracy to so few shots.
And we'll see if the Whelps are able to do that again, or if Diffusion's going to make some sort of changes and possibly take game 2, tie the series up. Or if Whelps are going to take their second win here and go into a match point. Psycho missing his shot. It's going to go high. Martin with the backflip. He's a little bit awkward, but he's just trying to keep the pressure alive for Diffusion. The ball gets missed in the midfield, and the Removing Pillow dunks it off of Marino. He's got time. They're going for the bump on him, but Martin pushed up just a little bit too far to catch that pass. Psycho tries, but it gets defended away. Grebsy going to get control of the ball in the Whelps defensive zone. 50s in Diffusion's defensive zone. Martin Storm pops it up. He can't follow it. Psycho's there, but it gets batted away. 3 minutes and 50 seconds left on the clock now. Neither of these teams have scored yet, Squirrel, and it seems like Whelps aren't as hot as they were at the end of game number 1, so maybe they need to reheat up.
Yeah, it might be a trend for them to start out each game slow, as they've been the ones under pressure in this game. They got scored on first last game, but I expect the Whelps to heat up, get the ball out of their half, and start putting some pressure on.
And Psycho with the touch, sending it into Whelps' corner. This could be dangerous. Pillow's up, but his touch not going to go where he wants it to. Grebsy gets it past one. Jeff Masters there to follow, but he lands on top of Removing Pillow and can't recover. Removing Pillow with control, bounces it up. Jeff Masters is there, sends it into his own corner. Martin Storm to send it back, but Jeff Masters again with the touch to send it across into his other corner. Martin Storm coming out of Diffusion's corner. Mr. Moreno's there. He gets the pinch, but the ball gets cleared out by Diffusion as we near the midway point in game number 2 here. We still have a 0-0 scoreline, Squirrel, and I can't really tell who has the advantage at this point, to be honest. It seems like both teams can't really sustain much offense, and they'd be, having novice moments in the midfield, missing touches and such.
It's weird. Like, I would give the advantage to Diffusion just because they have 3 shots, but Whelps, on the other hand, have 3 saves. Even though Diffusion is putting more shots on target, the Whelps, all of their players sitting at a higher score than the highest Diffusion player. So it seems like it's a lot of individual efforts coming from Diffusion, and I think if they can just work a demo in to open this net up, they'll have a lot better success.
And Psycho with the shot there, but it just barely misses, bounces off of the post. Removing Pillow gets the stop, but it's not good enough. The ball is still going to get cleared out of Whelps' zone. The ball gets pinched all the way back into the Whelps corner once again. The removing Pillow's there. He gets the touch, but it doesn't do much. Jeff Masters to send it away. Excuse me. Psycho trying to get it through, not able to. Martin going to pick up the offensive push here. Martin trying to get in front of it, but Grebsy makes the save, clears it to the side. Removing Pillow, keeping the pressure up for Diffusion. The ball does get cleared out and immediately sent back into Whelps' defensive zone. Moreno's up, but he gets beat out by Psycho. And the ball gets touched into the other corner. Psycho just leaves it. And now Whelps with the offensive push. Jeff Masters misflipping a little bit there. Couldn't keep with the ball. Mr. Moreno might have a shot on net, and it's going to bounce off of Psycho's car and go into the net. Whelps finally taking the lead. Now only 50 seconds left in this game.
Yeah, a brilliant first touch by Mr. Marino, and then a great use of his air roll to just get around that ball and put it on target, and just an unfortunate miss save there from Diffusion just breaks this game wide open with just under 45 seconds left to play.
Yeah, Diffusion's definitely in a corner now as they look to lose the second match as well and set themselves up to be swept by this undefeated Whelps roster, which I'm sure is not what they wanted. Grebsy going to take it off the top of the car. Marino puts it off the backboard. Psycho's up. He gets the touch and sends it away. Jeff Masters to keep the pressure alive, keep the offensive push going. Jeff Masters out to the mid. Psycho trying to clear it out, bounces it off his own teammate's car. Unfortunately, it bounces up, and Mr. Marino going to clean the clock on that shot.
Yeah, just unfortunate positioning there from Diffusion, allows for an awkward bounce up high, and Mr. Marino just in that Batmobile showing all of its capabilities, putting an aerial goal in, and just turning what was a close game into a 2-0. Looking to make it a 2-1, padding the stats a little bit, as I think this one might be over, barring an unfortunate kickoff.
Yeah, it would definitely have to be an unfortunate kickoff. 4 seconds left, definitely possible. Can definitely score off of a kickoff, but that's what it's going to have to be. Can Diffusion do it right here, right now? This is the only shot that they have. The ball is up. It could be in favor of Diffusion. Martin with the touch off the backboard. Is a teammate there? They double and they're not able to get it in. The Whelps gonna bounce it up and possibly get one for the road themselves. No, it's gonna touch, but Whelps are your winners in game number 2, and they now are sitting on match point for this best of 5 series.
A great chance. I think if it wasn't for the double commit, just a little bit better calms coming out from those players on Diffusion that double committed, I think you could have had one to tie it up and send this one to overtime. But Whelps, they clutch it up. They get the job done. They put themselves in a great position to try and get this early sweep. And what can I say? They're all 3 of the Whelps players are playing great. Diffusion, it's like, they're having their moments where it's really good, but it's like they're just not all 3 there at the same time ready to capitalize.
Yeah, I agree. And I feel like they definitely played better in game number 1 than they did in game number 2. So hopefully the losses aren't weighing on their mental, the mental side of their game, because they've got the most daunting situation in front of them now. If they want to get this W here tonight, they have to pull off the reverse sweep. Starts with game number 3, starts with the win. Will Diffusion pull it off, or are Whelps going to shut things down right here, right now with a sweep of their own? We will have to see as it unfolds in front of our eyes. Removing pillows up, but the defense is going to beat him out. Jeff Masters trying to clear it out, but Psycho puts it back into the Whelps corner. Martin Storm is there. He gets the touch off the backboard. Jeff Masters is there to clear it away. Removing pillow, trying to get control. Going to keep control in the corner. He gets it past 2 defenders. Gets it in front of the net, but didn't look like that he had any teammate help there to clean that up or even try to take a shot on the net. Removing pillow gets in front of the Whelps, trying to make an offensive push. Martin Storm with the save and sends it all the way across as Mr. Marino is going to miss his touch. Martin Storm puts it off the backboard. Jeff Masters is there. And I don't know, Squirrel, with a minute gone, it feels like if Diffusion just had a second man, feels like they don't have somebody playing a second man. They just have somebody drive it down, and then whoever is their second man seems to be way too far away, way too often.
Yeah, they're not all on the same page. You know, you have to have a solid 3-man rotation, all on offense, all on defense, all rotating very well. And that's just not the case here, unlike the Whelps, who, you know, they have a player ready for that ball right there. And I think that's the type of ball that Diffusion is missing as Mr. Marino puts one in to take a 1-goal lead.
And that may be the only goal that needs to get scored. Whelps now just have to basically play defensively, run down this 3.5-minute clock, and don't allow Diffusion any good looks on their net. And they've got an easy sweep W here tonight. Mr. Marino getting in front of that one as Diffusion has got another dropped opportunity. But removing pillow, gonna get up and find a nice touch on that one, finding Diffusion's first goal in what feels like forever, but they tie it up.
Yeah, it was a great 50 off the backboard, and Diffusion gets one early in this game. As you remember, it took them all the way until there was 4 seconds left last game to score. So good for the confidence, getting one early, tying this one up, and now you can look to play for a win here. As this one already on net, and Jeff Masters not able to get it. Martin Storm making his impact known.
Martin Storm catching the defense lacking. So you're going to need to put a little bit more respect on my name than that. He gets the touch off the sidewall, and Jeff Masters just not fast enough, doesn't react fast enough to get back to that one to stop it. Diffusion now with the lead, 3 minutes left on the clock. Can Diffusion score another one as Martin Storm puts a pot shot on net, but Marino gets in front of it. Jeff Masters missing his touch. Psycho out of the corner. Removing pillow was there, but Grebsy gonna beat him out and get it cleared away from his net. Mr. Marino pops it up. He's there for the follow. Can he get a third touch? No. Psycho's gonna get in front of him. Martin Storm with the touch in the midfield. The ball bounces off of the ceiling. Jeff Masters misses his touch, or at least his touch bounces into removing pillow and goes in the favor of Diffusion. Grebsy gonna get the dunk and the clear as we are just now past the midway point of game number 3. Diffusion was in the lead, but Mr. Marino with a touch is going to put a softball in and tie us up at 2.
What a read. He's up in the air before the ball even hits the backboard. Something that you'd never see in the Novice League. Usually they're waiting until the ball gets a lot lower to the ground before they even jump. But Mr. Marino playing with all the confidence in the world, getting up early for that one. The shot a little soft, but it went in. And, doing a great job tying that one up.
Yep, it's not always about how hard you hit that ball. Sometimes it's about where you place that ball, as Mr. Marino just showed us with a soft touch placed perfectly past the defenders. And that's all you need in some situations. Marino trying to get the low 50 through. Grebsy's there to help him out off of the sidewall. That waterfall's down. Grebsy's there again, but his shot going to bounce off of the defender and go high. Mr. Marino to bring it back. Coming off the ceiling. Okay. Starting to show off a little bit here. As Jeff Masters keeping the pressure alive for the Whelps. But Martin Storm not going to let it through. Mr. Marino, the awkward touch, puts it back into the corner. Grebsy trying to keep it going, but Psycho with the touch to get it out. Jeff Masters with the shot that's going to go wide, and the ball is going to get cleared away as we get close to the final 60 seconds in this match. We are still tied up, and Squirrel, based on what you've seen, you think that the Whelps are about to close this out, or are you anticipating Diffusion to send this into a game 4?
I genuinely think that the Whelps are just revving it up right now. They're looking just so much better as this game goes on, but a nice air dribble coming out and good defense. But the Whelps, their aggression has just gone through the roof in this last minute and a half, and I expect them to keep it up and probably close this one out.
And I better hope that Psycho doesn't get a good look on getting another air dribble. It looked like he kind of knew what he was doing there. Martin Storm gonna sneak one in, catching the Whelps, pushed up just a little bit too far.
You my words. I just said that Whelps were going to close this one out, but he does a good job, gets a nice touch off to the side, and is quick enough to get back to it, put a shot on net, and I think that was Jeff Masters just not quite able to get back to that one. And with 20 seconds left, Diffusion looking to extend the series.
Yes, they are, and this right here is exactly what they need to get a reverse sweep. They need this, and then the next 2 games. But it starts right here. All the confidence, all the momentum starts with the first game in the reverse sweep. The ball is still up, but they just got to put it down. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Diffusion going to be your winners in game number 3, starting their first win of a possible reverse sweep, unless the Whelps are going to pull something out here. Maybe they're giving us the gentleman sweep for the content, but I don't know. Either way, it was a good showing from Diffusion right there, Squirrel, and I expect to see some good things moving forward.
Yeah, I think the difference maker was Martin Storm. He showed up for that game, and he's going to have to continue to show up if they're going to want to get this reverse sweep. Whelps started off really slow. They picked it up towards the end, but I think Mr. Marino might have been trying to get a little too flashy instead of just trying to get the job done. But I'm not too worried for the Whelps. I think they can they can fix what was wrong in that last game. They can talk about it, and they can come out ready in this next game. And Diffusion has some confidence now, so I look for them to be playing a little bit better as well.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think the Whelps definitely have what it takes to not get reverse swept. A team that's undefeated, 4 weeks in, shows that they have an adaptability. They haven't been sweeping all of their opponents. They have got some sweeps, but they've taken some L's as well as far as within the series itself. So that shows that they have had to adapt to certain scenarios, change up their tactics, and they've been able to do it successfully. I expect them to be able to do something pretty good here in shutting down Diffusion, but I am interested to see if Diffusion can pull off the reverse sweep as we get a double whiff on this first ball as it bounces. Marino gets a good flick up, but Psycho to get in front of it. Mr. Marino trying to get it through, but his second shot is going to bounce off a post. Psycho coming off of the sidewall, and we know he has the ability to do something with those air dribbles, but he gets clobbered by one of the Whelps defenders, and that was a dangerous pinch, but Psycho was back, and he clears it all the way back into the Whelps corner. Martin with the 50. Martin waiting on Grebsy's touch, gets a banger all the way across, a little bit too high for Removing Pillow to try and go for, but Diffusion keeping a sustained offense right now. Grebsy gets it through. Psycho gets dunked. Removing Pillow is up. He gets the touch to send it back over the midway line and gets a dunk, but it doesn't go towards the net. He's going to leave that for Martin Storm to come in. Gets it past one defender, but Jeff Masters holds out strong. A minute gone now from the clock. We still have a 0-0 game here. Squirrels looking a lot like game number 3 so far.
Yeah, it is, and Diffusion just seems like they're right there on the cusp of scoring, but Whelps just able to send it away every single time. And one thing I want to point out is I feel like the Whelps are controlling the ball a lot more than they were during the early part of the series, where I felt like they were just booming the ball downfield and then beating Diffusion to it. Now they're playing a little more controlled, and I think that's playing right into Diffusion's hands.
And we got a big play coming out right here as we get a pass from Psycho, and then it looked like a bump from, I couldn't tell who bumped who there, but I'm pretty sure that opened it up for Martin Storm to have a good shot on net.
Yeah, absolutely. And, once again, Diffusion scoring first. We saw it in game 1. If you're a Diffusion fan, you're hoping for a different result, and you're hoping that they can push this one to game 5. But Psycho is going to be a long 3 minutes.
It certainly is. And Whelps looking a little bit more panicky on the pitch now than they have been so far, removing Pillow, trying to get the ground to air dribble, but he's not going to get it through the defenders. But Whelps going to need to figure something out, calm down, clear their heads, and change something up, as they seem to be getting kind of stuck in their own defensive half more than they have been. They got to ramp back up that aggression that we saw from game 1 and game 2. Removing Pello with the touch in the midfield. Grebsy's there. He gets in front of it, but Martin Storm, to take it away from him, sends it off of the backboard. Removing Pello there, but the defender beats him to it and pops it up. Psycho trying to get a touch, sends it off the sidewall. Martin Storm's there for it to send it across the halfway line. Mr. Marino with the save in the mid to Grebsy. Back down to Marino. He misses the touch, though, and Martin Storm trying to stick with it. Psycho gonna help him out. Psycho still with it. Gets a touch through the defender, but Jeff Masters back makes the save. With a minute 45 seconds left on the clock, Diffusion still leading by 1, Squirrel. And it doesn't look like, based on what I'm seeing in front of my eyes, I'm not sure that the Whelps are going to be able to break through this Diffusion defense.
Now the Diffusion defense is looking solid, but let me tell you, if the Whelps want to make it happen, Grebsy is going to have to get more involved, and Mr. Marino, with a demo coming out, he's got the right idea. Let's just see if Whelps can execute and send this one maybe into OT.
Perhaps an OT, maybe even ended in regulation. Either one of these teams has the ability to do it, and we'll see who finds the back of the net, if the Whelps are able to tie us up, or if perhaps Diffusion will get a second goal and extend their lead. That was dangerous, putting the ball in front of the net. Mr. Marino almost getting a lucky redirect there. Jeff Masters putting one on net as well, but Martin Storm to knock it away. Grebsy gets up and gets all of that ball as Mr. Marino goes down and finds a demo. Martin Storm trying to get a good angle on the ball, but just can't find the touch he needed. In the final 30 seconds, Mr. Marino gonna find the pass from Grebsy, the back of the net, and gonna tie things up.
Yeah, Grebsy must be listening, because he got very involved into that play, beating a defender, passing it off the backboard or the sidewall or the back wall middle for Mr. Marino to clean that one up. And Mr. Marino has been excellent shooting this series, and he puts another one in.
Grebsy missing his touch there, but Jeff Masters is going to get a little aggressive. Jeff Masters with the demo, leaving the ball for Grebsy. Grebsy trying to get it through, but Martin Storm going to 50 with him, sends it out. The ball gets popped over the midline. Psycho there with it. 50s with Marino. Ball in the midfield. Grebsy gets it past removing Pillow, but Martin Storm makes the stop. The final 5 seconds, and Whelps close it out. No, it's going to touch. We've got an overtime in game number 4. Who's going to do it, ladies and gentlemen? Can Diffusion extend this series and send us into a game number 5? Or is the Whelps going to shut things down right here, right now, and walk away with the W? Only time will tell, as we have entered overtime and we have the golden goal situation on our hands. Next point wins. Jeff Masters is up. He gets the save, the Savior medal. and keeps it alive, keeps his dream alive for the Whelps, remaining undefeated. Mr. Marino with the touch, removing Pello in the mid. Can't find what he's looking for. Jeff Masters sends it in, sends it home. Was gonna close it out for the Whelps. Diffusion gonna take a loss there. Wow, good play from Jeff.
Yeah, and you hate for it to end that way. Removing Pillow had like a pretty open free touch, but just doesn't quite get it. Jeff Masters makes a solid turn. He had the savior medal. He gets the closing goal, showing why the Whelps are undefeated as they put that series away. Diffusion, though, looked much better than a team that's below 500 right now, as they had a lot of close games against the Whelps and even took one off of them. Probably could have, if one or two things went a little differently, probably could have taken that series.
Oh yeah, I have no doubt in my mind that that would have been a possibility, given that they almost did. We saw the patterns, we saw the ability that they had. It just unfortunately didn't work out for them. You know, in the novice, you make mistakes. Heck, even up in the Titan League, you make mistakes. That's what gets you scored on, and that's ultimately what Diffusion got score. What got Diffusion scored on and gave them the L here tonight was just an unfortunate mechanical error there, right there at the exact wrong time. And unfortunately for Diffusion, Jeff Masters came in clutch, was able to take advantage of the situation and walk away with a dub here tonight. You know, that's got to feel good. And I mean, it felt good for me to watch it personally. Felt good to cast it. And I don't know, Squirrel. It's probably going to feel not as good as our next match we got coming up.
Yeah, before we move on to the next match, let me just say the Whelps having to feel good, sweeping their division. But now we're going to head over to the Titan League coming up next. We've got Gravity taking on Spartans, and I'm based on what I saw in support, I think there's going to be like a free agent use. There's Spartans looking very solid, Gravity on the struggle bus this season. So definitely definitely feel good about that series. Very exciting series. This next one, hopefully, it's exciting. Hopefully, Gravity can pull it through and make it exciting. But Spartans also looking solid up in the Titan League.
And a couple of shout outs real quick before we take a small break. A shout out to Music for the sub and a shout out to Nixoy for 7 months. Thank you for the support. Hats off to those guys. If we can get some pogus in the chat for these fellas for their support. Really appreciate everything. But that's going to pretty much do us for this game right here. We've got one more game lined up for you, like Squirrel just told us, the Titan League. We've got the Spartans going up against, and I just brain farted, Gravity. Spartans versus Gravity. So go ahead and use the bathroom if you need to. Get some drinks, get some snacks, do what you need to do. Take a little stretch. We'll be back in about 5-ish minutes with that Titan League game, so you don't want to miss it.